Welcome to Keep the Faith Ministry News. White House officials announced yesterday that the federal government will be knocking on doors in order to push more people to accept the COVID-19 vaccine. Quote, "We need to go to community by community, neighborhood by neighborhood, and oftentimes door to door, literally knocking on doors to get help to the remaining people protected from the virus," said President Joe Biden. The president attempted to shame those who have declined to take a vaccine which is not fully tested and which has increasingly been shown to produce disastrous health side effects for some, including death. Because, quote, "millions of Americans are still unvaccinated and unprotected," Biden claimed, that their communities are at risk, their friends are at risk, the people they care about are at risk. Biden also targeted unvaccinated young people who may have thought that they didn't have to be vaccinated, didn't have to worry about it, didn't have to do anything about it up to now. Earlier, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said that a top priority for the administration is targeted community by community, door-to-door outreach to get remaining Americans vaccinated by ensuring they have the information they need on how both safe and accessible the vaccine is. It's unclear whether the government door-knocking initiative will merely target communities with low vaccination rates or consist of government workers only going to the houses of the unvaccinated. Announcement of the door-to-door plan immediately sparked an enormous backlash on social media, with many critics comparing the new White House initiative to Gestapo-style tactics. Quote, "That's Nazi Germany," declared Mike Lindell, founder of MyPillow, in an online discussion with Steve Bannon, War Room host and former advisor to President Donald Trump. "That's the most disgusting thing I think I've ever heard." "This is communism," he's added. Quote, "Sending Joe Biden's Gestapo door-to-door to check up on non-vaccinated Americans is really a recipe for disaster," tweeted Laverne Spicer, a Republican candidate for Congress in Florida. Quote, "Now we're going to go door-to-door to check your papers," quipped conservative author and activist Steve Deese. Others, taking to Twitter, focused on how the White House initiative was misguided and would perhaps violate the confidentiality of patient records. Quote, "Vaccine education and conversation should be between a doctor and patient, not a grassroots government door knocker," said Nicole Saphir, MD, a New York physician and author. Others made known their outright rejection of the Biden's door-to-door plan. Quote, "Not on my watch," proclaimed Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. Quote, "I won't buy a magazine subscription door-to-door," tweeted retired Major League Baseball player Aubrey Huff. "What makes you think I'd take a free poison into my body?" Psaki also described 4 other efforts meant to get people to take the COVID-19 shot. Quote, "A renewed emphasis on getting the vaccines to more primary care doctors and physicians, something that we've seen as a very successful tactic with reaching groups with lower vaccination rates in the past few months. Stepped up efforts to get vaccines to pediatricians and other providers who serve younger people so that adolescents aged 12 to 18 can get vaccinated as they go for back-to-school checkups or get ready for fall sports. Continue expanding efforts to make the vaccine accessible for workers. Access is an area where we've seen as a challenge and one where, as we've worked to address it, we've seen increasing rates. So that includes setting up vaccination clinics at workplaces and PTO or time leave that employees can take off to get vaccinated. And finally, expanding our mobile clinic efforts, meeting people where they are, and making sure we're taking the vaccine to communities. State governments, meanwhile, have undertaken a number of initiatives to encourage vaccine uptake, such as free lottery tickets, the chance for 12 to 17-year-olds to win full scholarships to state universities, Ohio, and a $100 savings bond for vaccine recipients aged 16 to 25, West Virginia. Total control is Satan's endgame. But in the run up to it, There will be gradual steps along the way that will test the mettle of individuals. Where will this lead? Quote, God never forces the will or the conscience, but Satan's constant resort to gain control of those whom he cannot otherwise seduce is compulsion by cruelty. Through fear or force, he endeavors to rule the conscience and to secure homage to himself. To accomplish this, he works through both religious and secular authorities, moving them to the enforcement of human laws in defiance of the law of God. Great Controversy, page 591. This is Keep the Faith Ministry News. Thank you for watching.